Hi, I'm Pat. Okay, this is another one of those problems. They've given us this expression. What they're asking of us is to find the exact value of that expression. But even in the directions, they give you a bit of a hint in terms of using the sum to product formula to find the exact value of this expression. That's what they tell us to do. So the sum to product formula, or formulas, some of the stuff that you've learned in your most recent lesson, you first want to decide which is the right one to use. So I did already write one of these down, which I think is the right one for us to use, because notice sine of u plus sine of v, and that's what I've got going on here, right? The sum of two different sines. So then it really becomes a matter of following this right-hand side of your formula and just plugging in the right things for u and for v. So for me, for this problem, that 75 degrees is going to be my u, that 15 degrees will be my v, and then I'll just go ahead and try to put those things in the right place on the right-hand side of that equal sign. So here we go. There's a 2, and then sine. And then we need u plus v divided by 2. So I will have 75 degrees plus 15 degrees. Divide that by 2. Continuing in the formula, the next thing is multiplication by cosine. So cosine of u minus v. Again, 75 degrees for my u. Subtract, because that's what the formula says to do, minus 15 degrees for my v, and divided by 2, because that's what the formula says to do, right? Okay, so getting things in the right place in the formula is your start, and from there, it's just a matter of simplifying a bit. So 2 times the sine, and some of the simplifying I was talking about is just even doing this arithmetic. 75 degrees plus 15 degrees is 90 degrees, but then divided by 2, and we get 45 degrees. Times the cosine, 75 degrees take away 15 degrees is 60 degrees, but divide by 2, and we get 30 degrees. Okay. So this is good, and we're not quite done yet, but I really want to point out the benefit of this is that at this point we know the sine of 45 degrees. Think about it for a second. I know that you know it. Cosine of 30 degrees, we also know that. But at the beginning of the problem, we did not know the sine of 75 degrees or the sine of 15 degrees. So we're transforming the expression into something that we can actually manage with our knowledge of some trig and the basic angles. So I gave you a second to think about it, but what is the sine of 45 degrees? Square root of 2 over 2, right? What's the cosine of 30 degrees? Square root of 3 over 2. Okay, and then we'll just multiply that through and clean up a little bit, a tiny bit of cleanup in terms of this 2 will cross out with one of the 2's. It'll divide out, but there still is a 2 in the denominator, and in the numerator, square root of 2 times the square root of 3 would be the square root of 6, all right? Okay, last thing I'll tell you is resist the temptation to grab a calculator. When those directions say to find the exact value, this is what we're talking about. Don't approximate it by evaluating like a square root of 6 and then dividing by 2. That's our answer. I feel good about it. I hope you do too. I hope you do some on your own.